Aye.
Why do we have to be separate?
Almost. All right, call to order. Tom?
Yep.
Jason?
Here.
Myself, Barb, here. Sherry? Beth? She's on her way. Dave?
Here.
Sean?
Here.
Annette?
Here.
Tandra?
Here.
Bernie?
Here.
Devin?
He's on his way. Forgive me.
Oh, Larry. I'm sorry, Larry.
We see you, Larry.
Sorry, Larry.
Move to accept.
Second. Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Yes, it looked like Annette's gonna be up first.
Yep. Oh,
Okay.
recast.
So we'll talk about Mills Creek first. I won't have a final revenue. We are doing, next week, we are still going to do 3 more days of the sales. I had a number of people who contacted me and said that they did not get their passes, so that I will do them Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week from 11 to 2. The clubhouse will be open. So that'll be, and that's pretty much what we'll finalize. Been sporadically open in December, just depending on the weather. Hasn't been very cooperative this year. So, but like I said, we'll have that. So right to this point, as of, actually yesterday is when I ran the report, our revenue is $244,407.45. So that's where we stand revenue-wise. So obviously, we're up from last year. Last year, we finished at 226,924. So we are showing an increase from last year. And in regards to the number of rounds this year, I did my report yesterday. So as of yesterday, we have 16,104 rounds. We have things where we had increases were scrambles. We had a number of extra scrambles this year. So I know we had an increase there. I would say we also had probably an increase in just our winter, obviously, because we've opened a little bit longer than we have in the past. So that's where we've shown some of the increases. Our pass play is at, I believe, let me check that. I believe it's like 38%, 40%, which is good because that says that we're bringing in other money besides our pass plays. So that has been a good thing as well. Passes sold, when we did our November sale, we actually sold 24 passes. Of those 24 passes in November, there were 6 new members that joined in November. So we had 6 new in November. In September and October, we probably had 5. So we've had 11 new. I have gotten some inquiries. One gentleman came and he has been a longtime member at Lost Ticket, and he said he's done. He wants to come over and play at Mills. So that's a good thing. We're starting to draw some other people to the course. So that's a bonus. Questions on Mills?
I would just say, job well done for year over year, where things are in the right direction and keeping track of all the stats and the revenue. It's been great to see for this year.
Thank you. It's been good. It was, like I said, a good year. And really our weather it was probably one of the rainiest summers we've had in a while, but we maintained our numbers, which, I mean, obviously, we had an early season because we opened up in March, because even though we had anticipated not being there until April 1, but March was so nice, we just went ahead and opened, so that helped us with our numbers as well. All right, so that takes care of that. So Vista Ice Skating Rink, we had our soft opening on Wednesday, the 24th. We had our grand opening with the bank on Thursday, December 2nd. I have so far our tally on skaters. We've had a variety of individuals who have their own skates that are skating, and then we're doing skate rentals. So up through last Sunday, we have had 177 individuals partake in the ice skating rink. Feedback is pretty much generally been positive. There has been some comments saying it's a little small. And we said, we went a little small, we went with a smaller size, just so that was under the recommendation of some of the other cities that use ice skating rinks with the synthetic, that's what they use. But there is always that room to grow. We've already looked at that. I'm starting to price out different things and components that go along with it. Obviously, the biggest investment for us, other than the synthetic ice, would be the skates. The skates range anywhere between $50 and $70 for a pair of skates. So that would be a large investment for our part. If we would buy the synthetic ice, they're saying that the life span of the ice is anywhere from 7 to 12 years. So that is always a possibility that we're going to look at too, and just kind of see if that's something we would want to do. I mean, the company we are working with has been wonderful. They'll be out on Tuesday to do some maintenance just on the ice and the equipment, just to check everything over. But they've been great to work with. But like I said, we've seen some things with their setup that we would do differently if we had our own, just as, it's trial and error. So it's been, actually, like I said, it has been pretty good. We are at the mercy of the weather. So when it's extremely windy down there, we aren't as busy. And of course, when it rains, we do have to close the rink. So.
A lot of kids putting on skates for the first time down there, and
They did.
parents telling their kids 5 more minutes, because they won't get off the ice.
And I have, like I said, I have experience with real ice from my former job along with this, and I do say this is more kid-friendly. It is very much, it's not as, they say it's 90% as glides like real ice. I just think it's not as, real ice is just a little bit slicker. And this is, I think kids have a little bit more success, because what, as they tell you in the videos when you talk about synthetic ice is they say that you should start taking baby steps first and have them walk on the skates to get used to it. And as they become comfortable with that, then you start having them glide. And I've seen it with the kids who've come down there, that they start out that way and then they'll go right from the steps right into the gliding. So it is, like I said, I think they feel a little bit more like they have accomplished something on the artificial ice.
Do you have any comments from so-called good skaters, what they think of it?
Yeah, Jason actually encountered a figure skater.
Yeah, she was out here doing her toe picks, and she wasn't doing any sort of like triple lutzes or anything like that. But she said that her skates, and she's had experience on synthetic before, and her skates dig in, she said, more into those. She had mentioned that there's a coating you can put on it on either a weekly or daily basis, and I think that's something that Super Game's going to be doing next week.
Yeah.
But she said overall, maintenance is a huge thing for it, and just gave us some tips on if we were to have our own to do more of a daily maintenance, because you can tell which panels are older and which panels are newer that are on the one that we're renting, because it's a little bit slicker on those. But she couldn't skate backwards or I can't skate forwards, but she could skate backwards or do some of the things that she normally does on regular ice.
Nice.
And I did have some hockey players that had came out, and they said that it took a little bit of getting used to, but then once they said they were able to, they just had, you have to put a little bit more effort into glide. And he said that, when I talked to him after again, he said, no, he said, once you get the feel of it, he said it's really not much different. And I did do a little research on what Jason was talking about, and it's a cleaner, and what they say is it's important to keep like dirt and those types of things off of the ice, and that helps these skaters to glide a little bit better as well.
Had some leaves blow on that, and then we use a squeegee and then put booties on before you actually get onto it. But we were thinking if next year, if we end up either renting or buying, that if we get the skates ourselves, we could utilize them at Whiteman Weber Park and put the water and have that freeze during January, February, when it's cold enough to do that out at Whiteman Weber, and provide the same skates we use for the synthetic in the winter out at Whiteman Weber.
Because we would go ahead and purchase a skate sharpener. And they taught us how to sharpen the skates. We have a skate sharpener there. And that's what they said the difference is. The synthetic will dull the skates, and they recommend after 2 or 3 uses that you go ahead and sharpen the skates. So we did skate sharpening this past weekend. We just sharpened all the inventory that we had. So, and what they do is, and what Jason was talking about, how we have ours are boxes that they have all the skates in, and they're on wheels. So they're very easy to move from one location to another. So that would be very much a doable thing, that we could use the skates, and then you could do a rental skate at Whiteman Weaver Park.
Did they reseal JC again?
No, not in the off-season, no, but we didn't have any problems with it holding water.
The hold water?
Yeah. And having that ticket booth has been great too, a heated ticket booth for skate rentals, and we use the good time ticket booth for that, so that's been good for staff.
One more thing, this $2 is being attached to the charge?
Yep.
No, I know nothing. I haven't been down there, I drive by and look at it, that's it. Where does the $2 go? What is it for?
So the $2 that comes with any skate rental, if you use a credit card, is a $2 charge. That's what we're charged from the credit card company that we use for.
$2 or $5, it's $2.
Correct. It's something that even through Rec Desk, when you sign up for a $5 camp, there's still a $2 charge. If you sign up for gymnastics through a credit card, there's a $2 charge. It's always been there, it's just through our system, that point and pay, I believe.
Been given the option of doing that, or you just choose to do it, or?
It's the company charges us irregardless.
Credit card company.
It's the credit card company. That money goes, that's their fee, that's not our fee.
Process.
Do you, on top of that, pay a processing fee too?
No,
No.
Percentages?
no.
No. And
Because
then,
I've been asked to do that too, and of course I declined, but a lot of people are going that way.
and if they bring $5 cash, it's $5.
And the taxes, we do the tax similar to what we do at the golf course. We include it in our cost, and what then we do is we pull that out of the $5 fee, and then that is reported then to the state. So the sales tax, because it is a rental, I do the report to finance, and then finance it sends it off to the state. So we don't do a sales tax on top of the $5.
Any questions on the Vista Bank ice skating rink?
Jason, looks like you're up next.
So we had our annual race before the game, Saturday after Thanksgiving. We had about 100 participants. I'd say 85% of them are for Ohio State, and 15% of them were happy after the end of the game. It worked out to be a good event. The weather was decent, and we're looking to have it again next year. So we'll continue with it. I just wanted to give an update of the numbers on it, just so we had it on the record. Winter break camp. It's in the paper today.
Winter- Excuse me?
It's in the paper today.
It is. So winter break camp, we are back. And the community has been, it looks like as of right now, we have 93 registrations. We opened the registration up on Friday afternoon, and over the weekend, it just kept going up. We'll top out at 120, and I'm pretty sure we'll reach that before the actual camp starts on the 20th. It's 3 days before Christmas, 3 days after, the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday before New Year's. And it's looking, we've got a nice little lineup. We got a lot of new kids that I'm not familiar with, so it's going to be pretty interesting. And I'm just excited about it, about being back. We did a week 1 and week 2 registration option this year, which is good. Week 1, we have the 93, and then week 2, we have 77 registered. So those families that didn't do the entire camp have an option of choosing week. It's going to be pretty good lineup for week 1 and week 2. We do have a surprise, well, it's probably not a surprise with the hint I gave, but we have a guest that is green, but he's not mean, and he's coming on the 22nd to kind of interact with the kids before they leave for Christmas. And then the New Year's Eve party will be with DJ Jimmy Rock from 5 Star Entertainment. That's going to be on the 29th, and that's always a really good time. We have a balloon drop a few seconds before noon. And shout out to all of the restaurants that have donated the food to feed the kids.
Who are they? So we can make sure
We're going to shout them out right now. So we have Pizza House East. This is for lunch every day. So Pizza House East will be probably the New Year's Eve party day. Lee's Chicken, Berardi's Family Kitchen, Franketti's. That is going to be wonderful. Meatball subs, you don't want to miss that day. Chick-fil-A, or filet, and Taco Bus for providing all the meals for the kids. And they're excited and very humbled to do so. We're also offering free haircuts for the first 2 Mondays. We got a lot of signups for those, so those barbers will be very busy with John Hall and his Hall of Fame barbers. Do you want me to go over this whole thing?
No, you don't.
Okay. All right.
Just wanted to let the board know where to.
Sandusky Rec Facebook page and check out the flyer. And there's still room to sign your kiddos up. You don't want to miss it. Any questions?
It's good to have it back.
We need volunteers.
Oh, yeah, volunteers. It's down at the bottom there if you want info on volunteering.
You guys did away with Santa and the cookies?
Excuse me?
We aren't doing the cookies with Santa this year, no.
Santa cookies.
We didn't do, we'd like to bring it back, but it's just not this year. We're not having it this year.
Anything else around full business? Moving on, Jason.
Just wanted to give you an update on kind of some of the things that I'm working on with Steve Ernst and Advantage Entertainment as we get into the summer for next year. I think we announced what was happening in June of last year when we were starting concerts in July. So hopefully in January of this year, we'll be announcing what's going on for this coming summer. We're looking at about 10 Party at the Pier events on Thursday nights. This is where we set up the stage on Thursday nights for a free concert. We had up to probably a couple thousand people at some of the events last year, which included Living Color and Hoobastank. And then we had the Michael Jackson Experience. And what were some of those are a couple of the highlight groups that came in, the Menus, Rumors. So we're pulling together a schedule for that. That would be Thursday nights from June 30th through Labor Day. And then we're also bringing back the Movies by the Bay series, which will go back to Mondays. We had done Mondays a couple years ago. We tried Tuesdays last year. Reason we're moving it back to Mondays is a couple reasons. One is the Gazebo Concert Series is on Tuesday nights, and they thought that maybe having them both the same night was a little competition, and it programs another night down at the pier. So we'll have Monday night movies, sponsor to be determined, but I think our sponsor from last year is probably going to come back for that. So that'll be about 6 to 8 movies on Monday nights with the Firelands Regional, or Firelands Health System LED screen. Any questions on those two things?
And Lang is doing 4 events this year.
Oh, yeah, the Lang Trust events, yeah. They'll have 4 dates that are outside of those Thursdays. Looks like Juneteenth,
Yes.
July 19th, August 19th, and September 10th are the tentative dates that they're looking at. And that would possibly be during the car show weekend, the Saturday of the car show weekend would be their last event. And those are free as well. So those makes 14 total events for concerts, 6 to 8 movies. So it should be
Pretty packed summer.
and it's all free.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's all I have for the 2022 summer events as of right now. We've got our expiring terms, which was Tom, Beth, Larry, and Sean, and everyone said that they were coming back for another term, so I let Kathy know, who is our new city commission clerk, that, and thank you for your service and continued service. And then the last thing I had was looking at our meeting schedule and to see if there's any talk of changes. I know Devin was able to work something out with work. He was the one virtual person that we had for a few weeks there, a few months there.
I'm glad to be in person though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But is it, I guess, leave it to the board of,
I'm good at Wednesdays.
Works for me.
Wednesdays at 4 working.
Barb,
Yes,
you're the one that's always, you okay with Wednesdays?
it is what it is.
I'm guessing with the teachers in the room, we can't do it. We wouldn't do a daytime meeting.
You could try.
Yeah.
Or is a 4:30 switch easier? Is it? No,
Just write her-
okay, no.
Just write her a note to get her out of school. Give her a hall pass.
Professional day, right?
Yeah, anything else on our business? Open discussion.
We have a guest. I didn't know if, was there any topics for open discussion? If any?
I'm Jennifer Ashburn. I just wanted to discuss learn about the rec center that you're proposing of building and wondering why you're not using Sandusky City Schools. The schools already have everything that you need for a rec center, you know, instead of building another one. I worked in Fairfax County for 35 years. In Fairfax County, they used the school buildings as rec centers as soon as the school day was over. And all of the materials were there, the parking was there, the kids were there. They just transitioned into the rec department. So it seems to me that we have state-of-the-art school buildings that are already here. You could use that money that you would use to build a rec center to hire a staff, which would employ more of the retired teachers in the area. It would use the resources that we already have.
Sure, I could address a little bit of that. I'm sure Sean, who's,
Want to tackle the question there, sir?
because we have utilized Sandusky City Schools for a lot of programming, including the winter break camp. And for a while there, we weren't able to use some of the schools just for the pandemic reasons. But as we get back into this year, we're looking to use the schools for more programming. As far as the additional building that's been talked about, they're really early in the preliminary stages of, I guess, what that would entail and what kind of funds are being used for that. But we have a great partnership with the schools currently and look to continue that partnership with the programs that we have, at least in the short term. In the long term, Yeah, I think we're still trying to, we have a South Side plan that we are going to be starting now with the city too, which would incorporate even a location of a rec center or how we can use those buildings like you're talking about to a better extent. But
Hi, I'm Sean Coakley. I'm actually the athletic director for Sandusky City Schools, and I'm the school's liaison to the rec board for exactly the reasons you're speaking of, ma'am. And prior to the pandemic, we used the schools as much as was available under reasonable hours, because again, we've got a lot of our own programming that takes place till 7, 8 o'clock at night, depending on the time of year, the sport, and those types of things. But I guess I would say prior to the pandemic and then soon to be moving forward, because again, we've got winter rec camp coming in, whether it's swimming or whether it's basketball, volleyball, kickball. You know, we've done a variety of activities that we helped host for the rec department. And, you know, obviously they came in and then we do a lot, we have done in the past, a lot of camps, a lot of introductory camps, and I guess I would say beginner and maybe the next level beyond camps for softball, baseball, and different sports over the years. So we try to keep our buildings as full of kids as many hours a day as we can, ma'am.
any other questions or comments for?
I'm good.
Okay, well, I will,
Motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
I'll second.